Josiah, and here's a song that Trav and usually Mike and I sing with him, and it's a song that he wrote. Why don't you give a testimony about it, and then we'll sing it.
Well, I was raised in a Christian home. My dad's actually a pastor back in Illinois, and being raised in a Christian home, always being around the gospel, I love that part of my testimony. I love that not everybody is able to be raised up like that, but at around 12 years old, I realized that, we were in a church and my dad's a pastor, and I was like, oh, my friends are saved and they have their testimony, and, we share our testimony in Sunday school and whatnot, and I don't have that story. So I was like, okay, well, I need to get saved. So I just I prayed a prayer, and I knew what to say and I knew how to get saved, but it was just because I felt like I needed to. And so I did, and I told my parents I got baptized and everything, and that for years, that was my testimony. And then, July 6, 2017 at Indian Creek Baptist Camp. I was working there as a staff member. I was 17 years old, and I'd been working there, and Brother Tim Rule preached a message. It was a baseball-themed message, and he talked about how there's these 3 bases that you have to run. He's like, you have to touch every base before you can get home. He was like, first base is salvation. He was like, you can't miss that. You can't miss the first base. And he started hitting on that. And the Lord just really burdened my heart with that. And I wasn't sure what was going on. I was like, Lord, I'm pretty sure I'm saved, so I'm not sure what you're trying to talk to me about. So I went to the altar, and I was just crying, and I just had this unease in my heart. And I prayed, I said, Lord, just give me peace. I don't know what you're trying to talk to me about, but just give me peace, Lord. Tonight, give me peace. And then we went and we had a time of concessions and stuff, and I was helping out, and I was just uneasy, and people were asking me if I was okay and stuff. And then we came back in there. I was like, I need to talk to somebody. So I asked him after the service. I was like, hey, can I talk to you? And I talked to him, and he started giving me the gospel. I was like, well, I've heard this all my life. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm saved. He's like, you keep saying you're pretty sure. You need to be totally sure. And I always thought when preachers said, man, I'm 100% sure I'm going to heaven. I'm like, okay, they say that. But, it's really like 98%, right? No, you can be 100% sure. And he started talking to me. He said, well, let's go through the Romans road. And he read that first verse, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And I just started crying. I realized I wasn't saved. I realized I was a sinner that was on my way to hell. He started going through those verses, and I was hearing it all again. I'd heard it for years, but I was hearing it. It was like I was hearing it for the first time. And God spoke to my heart, and I bowed my head and I prayed. I said, Lord, I need you to save me. And that night I got my real story. My real story is salvation. And before, I was nervous and I was uncomfortable telling my story to people, but man, now I can't get enough of it. I love sharing my story. And the Lord gave me this song a few years back called I've Got a Story, and I hope y'all enjoy it.
Well, Satan tricked me every day, told me joy was far away. All I felt was shame and misery. But I'll never forget that glorious day when I finally bowed my head and prayed. Jesus came in and washed my sins away. I've got a story of how he saved me. storm.